Thomas-Symonds.
Now, Mr. Speaker, I'm of course grateful to the Attorney-General for his statement and for advance sight of it. But the reality of this situation is that all members are asking questions at a major disadvantage because they've not read the legal advice upon which this statement is based. And it is totally unacceptable to be in this position when aspects of the Attorney-General's advice have been selectively leaked to the press over the weekend. For example, Mr. Speaker, we understand that in a letter to Cabinet Ministers last month, it's been reported that the Attorney-General said, in respect of the backstop arrangement, the protocol would endure indefinitely if trade talks broke down. Now, today, in his statement to this House, the Attorney-General has talked about political factors that might, in his view, make the backstop temporary. But the reality is that that isn't the legal position. Perhaps he can confirm the legal position is as was in the letter, that it will endure indefinitely if the trade talks break down. Now, Mr. Speaker, on the 13th of November in this House, my right honourable friend, the Shadow Brexit Secretary, and I were both very clear that what was sought was the final and full advice provided by the Attorney-General to Cabinet on any completed withdrawal agreement made available to all MPs in good time for the vote on the deal. Offers short of that, including the Attorney-General's statement today and a summary made by the government, were rejected, and the House passed the moment unanimously. Playing games, shouts the Chancellor. The Conservative Party on the 13th of November couldn't get one of its MPs to vote against the motion. Not one. And the reality is, as well, that this document that has been produced is, in the Attorney-General's own words, a legal commentary that's been produced with his oversight and indeed approval. It is not the final legal advice to Cabinet. I should also say, frankly, Mr. Speaker, that a longer and more detailed explainer was produced alongside the withdrawal agreement than this document, it has to be said. Isn't the reality of this situation that the government does not want MPs to see the full legal advice for fear of the political consequences? And there is no point whatsoever trying to hide behind a law officers' convention. The Ministerial Code and Erskine May are very clear. The ministers have a discretion as part of that convention to make advice available in exceptional circumstances. What circumstances could be more exceptional than these? The economic, political and constitutional integrity of our country is at stake. Now, Mr. Speaker, I will quote some of the legal commentary. I'll quote paragraph 82 of it, which says, and I quote, "The agreement does not contain any provision on its termination. In the absence of such a provision, it is not possible under international law to withdraw from the agreement unilaterally." So, straight question to the Attorney-General. Can he direct me, or indeed this House, to any other international treaty to which the UK is a party where it has no unilateral right to terminate it? Can he even name one? But it's actually, Mr. Speaker, more than that. Because Articles 1.4 and 2.1 of the Backstop Protocol are clear that its provisions shall apply unless they are superseded in whole or in part by a subsequent agreement. So put simply, no, the with whole or in part bit was not commented on actually in the statement. And put simply, what that means is that parts of the backstop could become permanent even in the event that a trade deal was agreed. So can I ask the Attorney-General directly, what is his view as to which parts of the backstop arrangement in this protocol he advises are most likely to become permanent? And can I also raise with the Attorney-General the impact on the Good Friday Agreement? And here I refer to page 305 of the withdrawal agreement, and this is what it refers to. The need for this protocol to be implemented so as to maintain the necessary conditions for continued North-South cooperation, including for possible new arrangements in accordance with the 1998 agreement. So can the Attorney-General tell the House, in his view, firstly, which new arrangements he believes would be in accordance with the 1998 Good Friday Agreement, and secondly, which arrangements he believes would not be in accordance with it? Mr. Speaker, in the first instance, it will be for you to rule whether there has been an arguable case of contempt for what we on these benches believe to be a failure to comply with the motion of 13th of November. For the sake of our economy, our jobs and our futures, all possible information should be made available to members of this House. The government should do the right thing and make this full advice available. With so much at stake for all our constituents, with 8 days to go before the vote on the deal, this House and this country deserves better from this government.